Hello, everyone. It's Friday, December the 9th. We've got 11 additional deaths that I need to report to you. That puts us up to a grand total of 7,638 deaths in West Virginia. And if you could absolutely pass on your prayers, your honor to these folks as I read through these folks. The 7,628th death in West Virginia is a 77-year-old male from Roane County. The 7,629th death, an 85-year-old female from Jackson County. The 7,630th death is a 63-year-old male from Cabell County. The 7,631st death is a 78-year-old male from Wood County. The 7,632nd death is a 74-year-old male from Raleigh County. The 7,633rd death, a 71-year-old female from Kanawha County. The 7,634th death, a 90-year-old male from Kanawha County. The 7,635th death, a 70-year-old male from Summers County. The 7,636th death, a 93-year-old female from Kanawha County. The 7,637th death, a 74-year-old male from Mingo County. And the 7,638th death is an 89-year-old female from Marshall County. We have active cases of 978, new positive cases of 290. We have a daily positivity rate of 3.9. We have a cumulative rate of 8.53. Recovered cases are now 608,478. Our hospitalized folks are 190. That's up significantly. We have 22 in the ICU units and 6 on ventilators. And you can see most of our counties are green, but we've grown to 16 counties in the yellow. I absolutely urge everyone about getting your booster shots, especially those folks over 50. But it's eligible to all folks over that are 12 years of age and older. I again urge you to consider getting your flu shot as well. The flu season is probably going to be pretty tough, and it's on us right now, and so you can get both shots at the same time. I urge you to go ahead and get your booster shot and get your flu shot as well. The numbers continue to be little by little better. Now our over 65 that have had at least one dose is 92.8%. Like I said, it just slowly clicks up. We want it to be faster, but that's still progress. The vaccine calculator and the vaccine info line is all up on our websites. Long-term care outbreaks are 43 in our long-term care facilities, none in our church community, 62 inmates and 15 staff cases. The Homeowners Assistance Program is still available to you. I tell you all the time, this is significant dollars. If you can get qualified, absolutely you should call us and give us a chance to qualify you. I promise you everything will be so above board, it's off the chart. We're not going to do anything except that, and it may take just a few minutes, but it won't take long. From the standpoint of giving blood, I remind you, very, very important. And if you'll check with your physician, please do so. And if so, please consider. The DNR Lifetime License Giveaway, hunters and anglers who purchase an annual 2023 hunting, trapping, or fishing license in the month of December will automatically be entered into this drawing. You know what a lifetime hunting and fishing license is worth? It's big, big, big dollars. And with all that, if you'll just, and it's available to residents and non-residents as well. Now, the non-residents will not receive a lifetime hunting and fishing license, but they'll receive, stays at our state parks and so on like that. So nevertheless, please, consider, if you can, getting that hunting and fishing or trapping license in the month of December. We had a major announcement yesterday. The Commercial Metals Company, which is a micro mill, and basically what that's all about is just this, is they take scrap steel and they absolutely reprocess it and everything, and they make it into rebar. Now it is a very green operation, and we welcome them to Berkeley County. It is a guarantee of 230 jobs that are going to pay $76,000 each, and it's just it is another major announcement of bringing real folks and real opportunity, and Fortune 500, Fortune 400, Fortune 100 companies. I think this company is like 326th in the country, and there you see the CEO and the president, and of all things, from Texas, they ask, well, what about Baby Dog? Is Baby Dog coming? And they put a little, I guess, bandana or whatever around it with CMC on it, and that's Barbara Smith, and she spoke and did an incredible job, and we are so excited to welcome them to Berkeley County, and they're going to spend in excess of $450 million in putting this plan in, and they're expected to be operational in 2025, but just a big deal, great big deal for West Virginia. It's good stuff. James Bailey. James has been around a long time, and he's a young man, but he's done a great job, at Commerce as our acting secretary. We are now making James, we did it just the other day, we're now making James the official secretary of the West Virginia Department of Commerce. Like I said, James follows, a secretary. We had Ed Gaunch, and Ed did a marvelous job, and so I'm just tickled to death, to welcome James officially to our cabinet, and I know he'll do an incredible job. He already is doing that every day, and the other thing is James, while I'm confident he's going to do a great job, as our Commerce Secretary, James, you need to work on your trout fishing skills just a little bit, that's for sure. But nevertheless, good stuff there. From the standpoint of the announcement about Comcast on Tuesday, I announced that I have officially signed West Virginia's Line Extension Advancement and Development Program, that grants for Comcast to begin construction activities to connect more than 2,100 unserved homes and businesses across the state. So they'll keep doing great work. We're really excited about that as well. And let me just read this other paragraph here. It says, Comcast next month will begin to execute the build-out plan for 2 projects totaling more than $10 million, enabled in part by a $7.5 million state grant to provide more residents in Brooke, Cabell, Hancock, Morgan, Ohio, and Putnam counties access to Comcast smart, fast, reliable fiber network. So we're excited about that. And we just got back from Huntington. We had a big announcement, on a green space project that's going to go on Hal Greer Boulevard. It's from Washington Avenue all the way to 3rd Avenue, or Washington Street to 3rd Avenue, and it's really Washington Avenue to 3rd Avenue. So when you're coming in, on what I would call 16th Street, which now is Hal Greer Boulevard, you don't go very far and everything, and probably a lot of places where, a lot of people know where you stop and get some really nice ice cream at Baskin Robbins there, and everything right there would be where it would start, and it would go all the way to 3rd Avenue and connect to incredible city, incredible university, and make life so much better for the folks along the way. Sidewalks and bicycle trails and so many situations where our kids right down that main route right there are playing, and they're very close to the road, and it'll take away and make things a lot safer, and it's just a great project and everything. But I think it's $13.5 million, but now we're underway, and all that'll be more and more good stuff, and good stuff happening right there in the community of Huntington, and we can't be more excited. That's all I've got.
All right, thank you, Governor. Secretary Bill Crouch is also joining us today and is available for questions. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon, Governor. We're running around doing Toys for Tots today, collecting thousands of toys for our kids in need. So if I sound a little breathless, it's because I am. Hey, can somebody open the gate? Sean has a guest here. Right now, hospitals in the U.S. are at 80% capacity. That's a record high. We have checked the COVID numbers for West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky. They are all up over 50% from a month ago. We've got flu season. We've got RSV. We've got all kinds of winter diseases that come annually. What is your best advice for people to not only deal and prevent with COVID, but the flu, RSV, all these other, it just seems like we're being besieged by illness. What's your advice?
Well, Mark, I'm not a physician, but I can give you my best 2 cents. We've got 3 things right now, big things we're dealing with. We've got RSV, we've got flu, and we've still got COVID. And the variants from COVID, are so contagious, it's off the chart. We got to be careful. We have to be careful. And, if you're feeling the least bit bad, I would surely, have the respect of others to stay away from big crowds and whatever. And absolutely try, I'm not saying quarantine yourself, in any way, but at least be respectful of others. I would tell you just this, that if you have any symptoms whatsoever that would lead you to need a COVID test, get the home kit and test yourself. I mean, it would not take much to overwhelm our hospitals, and all of us have seen on the national news, from the standpoint of our children with RSV, especially the infants, it is so dangerous. And it's just, we've got to just be a little careful. I would surely encourage flu shots, and I would surely encourage your COVID shots and your boosters. But with all that, I would encourage just common sense, really common sense. If you're absolutely just coughing and you've got head cold and whatever it may be and congestion like crazy, I mean, for crying out loud, let a ball game go. Absolutely, from the standpoint of going out in a crowd of people and infecting all kinds of other people and everything is probably not a good choice. So with all that being said, I would say look out for yourself, look out for your family, look out for others, and let's just do what we've done. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what we do other than just pull the rope together, use great common sense, and have a lot of prayers that everything's going to be okay. But that's about all I can say.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next, Well,
wait just one second. Mark, you're working for Toys and Tots and everything. It is, let me just say just this. You've got the greatest of the greatest holidays. Maybe it's a tie with Easter, and you got a lot of folks that we surely to goodness, we hope and pray that nobody's going to go hungry at this time. But it's still a challenge. And you got a lot of folks out there that are really, really hurting, especially some kids. And if you can help them, please do that. Please do that. Mark, I salute you in every way with what you're doing right now, with the Toys for Tots deal and everything. I'm very familiar with the organization. It's really good. Really, really good. I go back a long ways, long time. That there's a fella that's not with us now, Ronald Bailey. And Ronald looked at me, and he's just a country kind of guy, and he said, you'd make the perfect Santa Claus. And I said, well, Ronald, I'd do it if you'll get me a Santa Claus suit. And then I thought to myself, the only way Ronald's going to come up with a Santa Claus suit for me, it'll look like I've got spandex on. And so with all that being said, then I got a Santa Claus suit made, and I went year after year after year to a little church down in McDowell County that, in all honesty, the kids were having a tough time like most of us could never imagine. I'm telling you, there's people out there that are really hurting right now. And literally, if you can help a child or help a family that's struggling, come on. Let's all do it. It'll make you feel good. And literally, I believe with all my soul, the giver is always the one that wins. So, Mark, thank you for what you're doing.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next to Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, I wanted to ask a follow-up question about the end of our COVID state of emergency and our plans about the data going forward. I know we said at the beginning of the week that, the way the DHR responds and the role of the JADF is largely going to remain the same. Is the DHR still going to send out its daily COVID emails? Are we going to maintain the dashboard, keep, the map updated? Is all of that publicly accessible data going to remain after the end of the state of emergency? Thank you.
I assume the answer to that, Charles, is yes, but Secretary Crouch, if you could give us that, please.
Yes, thank you, Governor. Thank you, Charles. Yes, Charles, our plan right now is to continue everything we're doing, try to keep the public and the press advised of the changes in COVID. As the governor said, especially on Monday, this is not over, and we're seeing again hospitalizations up at 190 now. Hospitalizations a little over two weeks ago, 16 days ago, were 114 COVID hospitalizations. So that's an indication we need to keep folks informed about what's going on. And as the governor says, every briefing, please get your vaccinations and get your boosters. But we're going to keep the information coming to you and keep being transparent and trying to make sure everybody knows what the status is of the state. So, thank you, Charles.
Thanks, Charles. Next to Brad McElhenney with West Virginia Metro News.
Hi, Governor. Hi, Secretary. Hello, everybody. Governor, there was a report that LIV golf is definitely coming to West Virginia next year. That was reported by ESPN, Golf Digest, and Golf Channel, among others. Do you happen to know the folks at the Greenbrier? Can you confirm? Thank you.
Do I actually know the folks at the Greenbrier?
Yeah, do you know? Do you know them? Can you?
I pretty well know them, I think, and let me just say just this, Brad. I've surely not dodged any question. I'm never going to dodge a question. I can tell you that that I did meet Greg Norman way back when, and when he came, like I said, he checked the golf course out, went around it, and I thought I was going to get a ride around the golf course with him and everything. Well, he went around it early in the morning, and we got together, and we probably spent 45 minutes or an hour together. We rode out to number 16, and he showed me something that we should do there on 16 if this thing progressed and everything, which I thought was a marvelous idea. It was relocate the tee back across Howard's Creek and basically bring the lake into play, increase the yardage on that hole to probably a little over a 500-yard par 4. I thought it was a marvelous idea, and I know that's not your question at all, but the net of the whole thing is I know negotiations have continued and everything with the Greenbrier folks, and really and truly there's I guess a big announcement coming, and I think it'll be exciting to the state of West Virginia and everything that we may have a great big event coming, and I know there's a lot of people reporting, but at the same time, I think that is their choice, and we should respect their choice, and from that standpoint, I'm not privileged to announce or anything, but I think from the standpoint of the Live Golf Tour and whatever, when they decide they want to make their announcements and everything, we should be respectful of that. And that's, and I'm eat up with the respect then. So I think we're going to have a real positive announcement for West Virginia, and I do know the folks at the Greenbrier, and I know them real well. I did not negotiate the contract and everything from the standpoint of that. but I have not seen the contract or from the end result of the contract, but I do think we'll have a really positive announcement real soon.
All right, thanks, Brad. Governor, back to you.
Well, the only other thing I can report is just this: I just received a copy of a letter to Secretary Crouch and everything, and it came from Senator Trump, and I have all the respect in the world for Charlie Trump. I think he is a great, great senator and a super intelligent man, and I just think the blooming world of him. That's all there is to it. And while I am aware of the concerns of his letter and everything, I absolutely want you to know that this not only touches my heart, but it really upsets me too. That's all there is to it, and I think Charlie's done a great job here. I would say, that all across this state, it doesn't matter if you're an Arby's or a Wendy's or a coal company or a hospital, or DHHR or corrections or whatever it may be, we are having a struggling time across West Virginia finding workers. We are. And in fact, the nation is. But in West Virginia, with us bringing new business after new business and doing all the good stuff we're having happen to us, we have got to address in every way and try to incentivize folks to move to West Virginia. That's what and I don't mean to beat a dead horse here or a live horse, but with all that being said, that's why I have been such an advocate of the personal income tax and getting on a pathway of getting rid of the personal income tax, because it will drive people. That's what we need in West Virginia. We need growth of people. But absolutely, without any question, I share Charlie Trump's sentiments wholeheartedly in the fact that we have got to protect our kids. And with all in me, I will assure you, Charlie Trump, that your letter is right to the point, and we're on it. I know that we're trying as hard as we possibly can to do any and everything we can do to make things better through DHHR from top to bottom. But absolutely, I know with all in me too, what my dad has said over and over and over: don't confuse effort with accomplishment. It isn't good enough for me in any way to just try hard. We've got to achieve and we've got to accomplish, but I appreciate your letter. And like I said, there's not many people that I respect any more than Charlie Trump. So nevertheless, we're going to be working more and more and more. Dad would say again, if you can't get it done in 24 hours a day, son, you're going to have to work nights. And right now, we're working nights on DHHR, and we're going to fix it. Anyway, thank you so much.